Lesson 15. God promises David a son to rule forever. 2 Samuel 7 verse 1 through 16. Last week we left off with the question of who was the perfect, unblemished person who could die in our place? We will take a look at that question again in the future. But today, let's take a look at a promise that God made to Israel's king, David. David, who loved God very much, wanted to build a house for God. After all, how could David enjoy living in his palace when the Ark of the Covenant, where God's presence dwelt, was housed in a tent? The prophet Nathan initially told David to proceed with his plan, but God spoke to Nathan in a dream with a message for David. It was not in God's plan for David to build a house for him. That honor would go to his son Solomon. However, God had impressive plans and a promise for David and his kingdom. God's message to David through Nathan was, "I will make for you a great name, like the name of the great ones of earth. I will raise up your offspring after you, who shall come from your body. And I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. And your house and your kingdom shall be made sure forever before your throne shall be established forever." 2 Samuel chapter 7 verses 8 through 16. That is quite a promise to David, to any king, that his throne would be established forever. Has there been a physical ruler reigning over the land of Israel since the time of David? No, of course not. But we are not at the end of history yet. Rather than assuming God's a liar, let's take a look at his promise through spiritual eyes. What if a descendant of King David was the promised Messiah, the one foretold in the prophetic words of God himself to the serpent in the Garden of Eden? When God said, "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel." Micah chapter 5 verse 2 prophesies, "But you, Bethlehem, Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come from me the one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old and from ancient times." What famous person do you know who was born in Bethlehem? What if that seed was a man who was born into the line of King David, lived a sin-free life, then stepped forward to take on the punishment of sins of mankind?